And to add to that, this is why the average American, and I don't remember, but majority of Americans, if it comes to an unforeseen emergency circumstance or bill or crisis, do not have $500 to be able 50% of Americans don't even have enough to cover a 500 unforeseeable expense that may arise that would basically financially put them in ruins. 50% of Americans, and if you really get to 1,000, I think it's up to like 80%. If it goes up
70 to 80%, yeah.
Which is just unreal. That means the stack that I don't want to pull it out right now, but the several stacks that I just have in my room.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
sitting,
I'll just leave it there. But yeah,
that I literally just burn right now and even wouldn't know it was missing, is basically equivalent to what 80% of people don't have access to. So anytime you're just walking around and driving around and seeing people on the street, just think 80% don't even have $1,000 at any given time.
I remember 2014, 2015. I remember reading that statistic while reading other finances, right? Because, I reading stocks all the time. Other financial stats come into play. I was talking about that with another guy. And he was like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, on about 75% of Americans don't have an expendable $1,000 at all times within a year. That's the stat. They don't have $1,000 at all time within a year to go to, right?
Yeah.
And he said, like, what are you talking about? I said, you heard what I said. I didn't stutter. He said, no, that can't be right. How does a person not have $1,000? I said the statistic does not lie. People don't have money. He was like, wait a minute, $1,000? He said, how does a person not have? I was like, we just made 1,000 now. I put it away. I have checks that I haven't even cashed. I have like 4, 5, 6 checks at home that I haven't even cashed. And then I have saving money to save. I said, that's you, that's me, that's other people. But the average American, no. He said, no, that can't be right. I said, it's absolutely right. And I showed him the statistic. He said, this cannot be right. I said, it's right. People don't have money, man. And it's not that people don't make money. People don't save money. And it is also a statistic that the more money a person makes, the more money they spend, not save, not invest. The more money we make, the more money we save, the more money we invest, the more money we put towards the future, the more money we put towards our getting our families right that they don't even know about right now. But when it comes to the average American, the more money they make, the more money they spend. And people, when it comes to finances, the average individual, it's not an income problem. It is a management problem.
Yes.
It is a 100%. Management problem, not a income problem. Even with minorities, because the statistic is, according to the census report, the average white American family in the United States makes 56, 57. I read the statistic a year ago, so it might be a little bit different now, because this is 2020. It's the end of 2018, early 2019. I read this stat. It was on the census report that the average black American makes about $48,000 a year, while the average white family makes $56,000 a year. So it's not an income problem when it comes to black people or white people. When they don't have money, it's a management problem. How is it that the average white family makes $56,000 a year, the average black family makes $48,000 a year, but the average white family has 120-something thousand worth of net worth, and the average black family has $4,000 to $3,000 of net worth? It is a management problem. And us as minorities, we have to manage our money better.
The average time a black dollar that circulates, a black earned dollar that circulates in the black community is like less than an hour or two. It's literally an hour or two. That shows you that we spend money to other cultures, and we fund other cultures' legacies and wealth and things of that nature than our own. And obviously that comes into a play that we don't, sometimes we just, in certain environments, we just don't own anything. So we don't have nowhere to put our black and brown dollars to. But that's just a problem in itself. And also, back to your point is when it comes down to, like you said, money, there is, for instance, we'll look at the average person when they get a pay increase in a job. When they get that pay increase, they typically don't take the pay increase and continue living at the same means. People usually get some form of pay increases over a course of a career, and they end up upsizing their living style, which may be going out more, whatever, or buying a car, or they actually upgrade and buy a bigger house. So what happens is actually when you get more money, you actually get in a worse predicament than you were before you got the raise, because you end up stretching the raise further than actually what you got. You might have got a $12,000 raise, but yet your expenses increased $20,000, which puts you in a worse predicament than you were before you got the raise. And this happens a lot, actually, because I see it in my job, and I see people transition, and I see people get pay raises and get promotions. And no one, when I get from a psychological, you get a promotion, like, well, I got to enjoy the fruits of my labor. Well, let me get that new car. But what they don't realize is that you never gained. You never got promoted. If you get promoted and the first thing you do is get a depreciating asset, you never gained. If anything, you just took on more risk and more debt. You never actually benefited from the raise. If anything, I would say the raise puts you in more mental financial ruins and depression, because you took on more debt because of the fact that, and people do this, how can you get a raise? We can, but how can a normal person get a raise and just continue doing the same lifestyle they had before the raise? Oh, I'm a supervisor now. I can't drive this car. Or I can't. Now you're getting into the Mrs. Joneses shit, keeping up with the Joneses type shit. And that's why you'll never see a person get an entry. This is what will be beautiful. Get an entry job level, whatever that salary is when you come in as a rookie or an entry level. But as you get promoted, you continue living at the same way you were living as a rookie. Even though you're going up in rank, your living expenses stay the same. And then the difference is what you invest. But that's so hard to do because it requires temperament and discipline and overall understanding of what you're trying to accomplish for the future. That is intelligence that is very hard to come by. And that's why only small and minute of people are able to do this, because it calls the key word sacrifice. I'm going to sacrifice the fact that I actually make 70,000, but I'm living off 30, and I'm going to invest the difference.